Hey guys, Marin here, and I want to address some recent comments I've been getting on a popular post on my blog about Getty images and copyright infringement. Now, there are some questions who keep coming up, and I just want to address them to help you understand better how does the law of copyrights work, and are you doing something that is actually illegal, or some evil company is running some scam to get all your money. So let's just put everything on the table. But first thing first, this is not legal advice. I don't know if you see it on the board, but it says, this is not legal advice. What that means is, I'm not a lawyer, I don't intend to be, I will never be. And if you are being sued, if you need legal advice, go and get it from someone who is a real lawyer, that his main field of his profession is copyright law. Okay? Now the first question I get so often from this post is, you sound like you work for Getty Images. And I get that because everybody else on the internet is saying how evil Getty is. And I'm saying, hang on, there are some things that it seems to be that Getty Images isn't fair about, but I do get some of the points, and the law is on their side on many occasions. So no, I do not work for Getty Images or any other agency. What I do want to answer today, besides this question, is why doesn't cease and desist work? Like, why isn't it enough? Why aren't they leaving me alone? How are they coming up with these crazy figures that they're suing me with? How come a photo is even worth that much? These are the type of questions I've been getting, and this is what is making people so mad, because they don't get it. So let's just go through step by step, starting with Copyrights 101. So here's the basic law, and it applies anywhere in the world basically. If you take a photo, it belongs to you. If you write a book, the copyrights belong to you. It's rights. Notice the word rights, it's your rights. If you write a poem, if you compose a tune, it belongs to you. If I want to use it, I have to acquire a license to use it from you. I cannot use it just because I fancy it, because I like it. And that is true even for a photo you took on your iPhone. Okay? And using a photo of someone else is just like copying a book, or ripping off a CD, okay? Or downloading illegally a movie or a song on the internet. It's all the same, right? That's the basic law. Now, the thing about this means that you cannot just put any photo you find on the internet on your website. You just can't. You need to have a license for every photo that you put on your website, unless you took it yourself. That's the law. Okay? So let's say we've gone through the 101. Now, many people are saying, but I didn't know. I found a photo on a website and I didn't know I can't take it, or I saw it on Instagram, or my web designer put it and I didn't know he needs to have a license. Well, the thing is, like anything else regarding the law, that ignorance is no excuse. If you see this speed limit sign, if I drive in a 40 miles max speed zone, if I drive 50 miles an hour and a police car stops me, I can't say, well, officer, I'm sorry, but I didn't know. I mean, I can say it, but I'll still get a report, right? Because that's the way it is. Ignorance is no excuse. Now, people are saying, they're being made criminals. We are not criminals, we just used a photo, it's not an offense. Well, turns out it is. either civil offense or up to a criminal offense, but it is an offense. You can get sued both by the photographer himself, the copyright owner, or the business the photographer took the photo for, or an agency that manages the rights of the photo for the photographer. One of these agencies, one of the biggest ones, is Getty. Getty Images, Corbis Photos, iStock Photo, Fotolia, they are all agencies who manage the rights of these photos for the photographers. And if you are using the if you are using the photo without being licensed to do so, it's something that the people who manage the rights for the photo would be worried about. Okay, and we're going to talk about why in a second. So, how much is a photo worth? It's just a photo, right? Well, turns out it's not. You could find, like, top of the range photos can go for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars for an exclusive license for just a few months, for a specific region in the world. So if I have a breathtaking photo of a sunset and American Airlines wants to use it in their campaign, let's say, and they say, but we want exclusive rights for it, so no other airline or other company or other brand or other websites are going to use this photo. And you say, fine, deal, I'm giving you an exclusive license to use this photo. And they pay a lot of money. Now, what happens if someone steals that photo and uses it on its website? Well, now my contract with American Airlines is worthless. What happens if another airline, I sell that exclusive photo to someone else? I can't do that, because then maybe United Airlines will run a campaign with the same photo. So these exclusive rights are worth a lot of money. And if you ruin the chance for a photographer to get that money for his photo because you are using it without his permission, then there is a price for that and he can sue you for his loss. How much can he sue you? Well, he can sue you, there's a default price where you can ask for, or he can try and prove what a photo is worth and he can sue you for its worth or for how much money it can make him over the next 10 years. That can be $2 million or more. Okay, that's how much a photo is worth for a professional photographer. So this is why they're suing. Now, people are asking, well, I got the letter and I took off the photo from the website the same day I took the photo off. Why? This is called cease and desist. Why isn't this enough? Well, because if because of you someone cannot sell a photo on an exclusive deal now, because it's not exclusive anymore, because it was on your website and it got indexed by Google, then he already lost the money. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you take it off now or in a week time. The right thing to do is immediately take it off, but it doesn't mean it covers the loss. Like, if I steal a car and bring it back the next week and say, well, but I brought it back, maybe with a few scratches, but I brought it back, it doesn't work that way, it's still an offense. Okay, so this is just the way it is. It's not necessarily enough, and it's the photographer who has to decide, is that enough for him or not? Some of them will say, fine, you're just a small blogger, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, you didn't mean it, and it's cool. Others will want to pursue. And I've been told on my interview with Getty with Image Bank Israel, which I want to emphasize, is not Getty Images. It's the master delegate of Getty Images in Israel. It's not the US-based Getty Images that's sending the demand letters in the US. But in the Israeli delegate, I've been told that often they want to get to a settlement, and it's the photographer who demands that he wants a full compromise for his work that went down the drain. Okay? So this is why cease and desist isn't enough. Now, who is Getty Images? Well, you all heard they're pretty much aggressive, which from the stories I've been hearing they are in the US, and perhaps I understand some of their techniques are considered to be somewhat problematic, but still, they manage the rights of millions of photos of photographers, and they are there for the photographers to sue anyone who uses photos without a license for it. Now, are they aggressive? Yes. I can give you an example. I had a domain Meron Bareket on Facebook. Okay, so it was an infringement of the Facebook trademark. And Facebook called me up and said, look, take it down or we will press charges. And I took it down, and that was the end of it. That was Facebook's approach to this. But as I said, there are other considerations. There's exclusiveness. There are many considerations that might make them decide that cease and desist isn't enough. Okay, so this is all like the pro. This is why it's happening and why you should be aware, and why if you have a web designer or a VA or anyone putting photos on your blog, you have to be aware that this is the law in almost every country on planet Earth, and you cannot play with it because it's going to become only harder to game this system. And you have to start using photos that you have a license to, or photos that you take yourself. Now, what would I do if I got that demand letter? And as I said, this is not legal advice, but two things to consider. One, depending on, and this is as far as I understand from what I'm reading, depending on where does the photographer or the owner of the rights live, he might need to show that the photo has been registered in the Copyright Office in the United States if he's suing you in the United States. Okay, so if Getty's demand letter doesn't have that registration number, it might not be valid to go to court with. Or you may be able to at least say, look, show me a registration number before I give you any money. And if they don't want to go through it, maybe they can't sue you. This is one of the questions, the first questions you should ask your lawyer. Okay? And the second thing to consider is, look, if you made an honest mistake, or I'll rephrase it, if you have photos that are causing infringement of copyright that your web designer has put there, and you came to your web designer and you paid him money for this project of creating your website, and you paid him for the graphics, and he used graphics that he obtained without a license, by all means, you can sue your web designer. Okay? Getty will sue you, you can sue your web designer. These are the two things I would consider. And of course, the obvious one, take a good look at the demand letter and make sure that that photo really does exist on your website, and that there are no mistakes there. I guess mistakes can happen. And as I said, it's not legal advice. I'm not telling you pay them the settlement price, or you have to decide what you want to do. But you must understand why are they suing, and that they do, if they do take you to court of law, they can request for much more than the settlement price. Now, I have heard stories of people that ignored the letter and it went away. I heard stories of people that ignored the letter, received another one for double the price, and ignored that and it went away. And I heard stories of people that ignored the letters until an official invite for appearing in court has arrived in the mail. because they did press charges. Well, the thing is, if you stole a photo, they can press charges. So if you're in a position where you have this demand letter, go and consult with a lawyer. And if you're not there, make sure all the photos on your blog, website, any other material, you are licensed to use all of them. If you are a business, make sure you have a license for commercial activity. Okay? These are, I hope, will answer some of the questions I've been seeing on the post. Have a good one, and I wish you nothing but luck.